What's up, everybody, and welcome to Expedition Online Season 3, Day 14 of Glacier Bay. I'm Sam Donovan, and with me tonight we have Jess Martin, our champion of Season 1, and Season 2 extraordinaire, Chantel. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good. How are you guys doing tonight?
So excited. Final four.
Final Four. Final Four is always where this is the climax of the game, ultimately. This is the final step before we hit our final ascent. At our fifth vote, we had Bambi go home, unfortunately, and Mike was the only one blindsided. Bambi played a fantastic game, was really in the weeds as one of the final two Kelly members. Chantel, any last words on Bambi's vote out before we jump into the Final Four?
Honestly, it was just not in the cards for her just because Danielle played her compass. She had a fabulous run while she was here. I think she played phenomenally. I really was hoping that she would make it to final ascent, but unfortunately it didn't happen for her. And yeah, it was really fun seeing her play.
Yeah, it really was. And you mentioned Danielle's fantastic idol play. She really weaponized that and let people know that she was going to play that, kind of forcing everybody's hand on where to vote. So I believe Bambi ultimately got 3 votes, and Danielle had 2, I believe. But it was because Danielle weaponized it and people knew that she was going to play it. So jumping right into our Final Four, speaking of Danielle, she has been a wild card this season, but it's worked for her. She kind of has had her hands in every single vote so far, and whether or not she votes right or wrong, she's been able to navigate those weeds. Jess, any thoughts on Danielle's game so far and how she's been able to succeed this far?
Danielle has played very well so far. She's played a little chaotic, but it's definitely worked for her. I mean, she's obviously in the Final Four. It will be interesting, though, like if she does get to the final ascent, everyone on the jury, I'm sure, knows by now that she's had an alliance with everyone. So she's going to have to own her game, and I wouldn't count her out of it. She made some good moves.
Speaking of having jury be upset, there's been a lot of talk about David, who seemed dead in the water after the Haley vote and his duo went away. And with the Katie of it all has somehow skated by, and he's made it this far, also kind of being in control of the last few votes. You know, he's had his hand in each of the votes. Chantel, anything to say about David's game that's either surprised you, anything like that?
I think the number one thing that has surprised me with David is his ability to bounce back. He has lost his number one. He got thrown under the bus by Katie and the whole compass situation. So his ability to just regroup and focus on the task at hand, which is getting to final ascent, I think that he's doing a great job right now.
Mike, who is our next player that I wanted to talk about. Mike has been the perfect player playing the middle. I think I checked earlier, and with the exception of the Bambi vote, he's been on the right side of every single vote post-merge. So he's definitely playing both sides, has some friends on the jury, but he's upset after that Bambi vote and that blind side of him. So he's going to be very fun to watch tonight, I think. Seeing how he performs in the challenge. He feels like he's 4th right now, so that he kind of needs that win. Our final player we have is Mariana. And as the final Team Kelly, the only Wentworth stand left that we have in the game, it will be fun to watch her play. She's kind of ridden low so far, but she has moves to make tonight.
Like you said, she definitely has played very under the radar, but tonight is a good night for her to win the Final Four challenge and make a bold move with whoever advances to the next round.
For sure. And I think that's a great segue into our challenge. The viewers know that our Final Four challenge is never easy. It's never short. And so it's going to be a party tonight. So I think without further ado, we can throw it over to Docs for the Final Four challenge.
Okay, Team Janet, how we doing? This is the hard time when we're down to the end. Few people are around. You're starting to figure out who your real alliances are, and who are the people that you care about, and you're going to have to stab in the back. Anyway, guys, a little old school going on. Stay tough, stay strong. It's a game. Know how you want the outcome to be and do your best to get there.
Tonight's final Exemption challenge will be played in 3 phases. For phase 1 of the final exemption challenge, you will need a table or countertop, 10 solo cups upside down, placed side to side like this, as well as a bowl containing 10 ice cubes and a spoon. When Doc says go, you will put your hands behind your back, pick up the spoon between your teeth, scoop up one ice cube at a time, and place it onto the bottom of each of these upside down cups. The first 3 explorers to complete this task move on to phase 2 of the final exemption challenge. During the second phase of the challenge, I will be displaying some names on the screen. You will have to determine whether it is a location in Glacier Bay, the name of an expedition exemption challenge, or both. You will write down on your notebook or whiteboard either Glacier Bay, expedition, or both. The first 2 explorers to make it to 5 points move on to phase 3 of the final exemption challenge. For this third phase of the final exemption challenge, when the challenge begins, you will have 15 seconds to get that hardback book balanced on your head. Then you will have 2 minutes to take each of the solo cups and flip them from right side up to upside down. Once they stop moving, you take the cup and you balance it on top of the book, on top of your head. We will stand here until we get to the 5-minute mark of the challenge. Once we hit the 5-minute mark, every minute on the minute, you'll be cued to make 1 full rotation. Once we hit the 10-minute mark, we'll add some squats. We will continue adding squats and rotations at 5-minute intervals, and you will continue doing them every minute on the minute until there is only 1 explorer standing, winning the final exemption challenge. Good luck.
All right, welcome in to the Glacier Bay Final Exemption Challenge. Today, our final 4 explorers will compete in 3 rounds. Each round, we will drop an explorer. The final explorer standing wins individual exemption at our final crossroads. In our first round, our explorers will hold a spoon in their mouth and transport an ice cube from the bowl to the bottom of the cups. The first 3 explorers to place 10 ice cubes on the bottom of all 10 cups will advance to the second round of our challenge. Our explorers, go ahead and get in place and we will get underway. All right, we are looking for our first 3 explorers to finish. This challenge will be underway in 3, 2, 1, go. David has placed his 8th ice cube. He is in the lead right now. Danielle has placed her 7th. Mike also has 7. And Mariana is right behind them at 6. Mike is at 8. David is at 9. Mike just got his 9th. David's ice cube has gone flying out of the screen. Danielle with 9. Mike is the first to finish. He got his 10th ice cube. Looking for 2 more explorers.
Got it.
David has finished. He's got his 10th, and Danielle has her 10th. So just like that, Mike, David, and Danielle have moved on to the second phase. All right, our explorers are set up for the second phase. Danielle, David, and Mike. In this phase, we will be asking the explorers, we'll be showing them a name. They have to tell us if it's a Glacier Bay location, an EO challenge name, or both. The first 2 explorers to 5 points will advance to the next round. So let's get this thing started. Our first phrase, place where the glacier broke through. All right, go ahead and reveal. We have Glacier Bay location, an EO challenge, or a challenge. No points are rewarded because this was both. Let's get our second question. Our second question, mountain goats land. All 3 answers, go ahead and reveal. We have both and challenge. Both is correct. Danielle and David pick up a point. That's 1 point for each of them. Let's go to our third answer. Third question first, I guess. Mount Fairweather. All right, we have a response for all 3. Let's reveal those answers. We have a GBL, and a location. That's 1 point for all 3 explorers. It is a Glacier Bay location. That's 2 for Danielle, 2 for David, and 1 for Mike. Let's go to question number 4. Land of the Seagull eggs. All right, all 3 explorers have their answers. Let's reveal. We have both EO challenge and challenge. Danielle gets the point. It is both.
Good job, Danielle.
So Danielle is in the lead with 3, David with 2, Mike with 1. We are looking for the first 2 explorers to 5 points. Let's go on to our 5th question. Seclusion Lake. So let's reveal. We have both Glacier Bay location and challenge. So all 3 answers from all 3 explorers, which means David is correct. It is a Glacier Bay location. That's 3 for David, 3 for Danielle, 1 for Mike. Let's go on to the next question. Icy Straits. Let's go ahead and reveal. We have EO, both, and both. The correct answer for Icy Straits is an Expedition Online challenge name. Danielle gets the point. Danielle has 4 points, David with 3, Mike with 1. Danielle is 1 away from advancing. But we're looking for 2 explorers, so everybody's still in it. Let's go to question number 7. Interglacial stumps. Let's reveal interglacier stumps. We have, it is a challenge name. So Mike got that one right. Danielle and David did not. So Mike is up to 2. It is Danielle with 4, David with 3, and Mike with 2. Good question number 8. Place wooded with cottonwood. Go ahead and reveal. Place wooded with cottonwood is both. Danielle gets it right. David gets it right. Mike does not. Danielle advances to the final round. David at 4, Mike at 2.
Great job, Danielle.
Thanks.
So David and Mike will compete for that final spot for question number 9, Black Cliff. Okay, they both have their answers, so go ahead and reveal. Both,
job,
and both is correct. David gets to 5 points. Mike is at 3, which means Mike is eliminated. David and Danielle will compete for final exemption in our next round. Let's go get set up for that. Okay, Danielle and David, the final 2 explorers in the final exemption challenge, are ready. All right, let's get those books in position and I will count you down. This will be underway in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This challenge is underway. Our explorers are doing flip cup. David has his first cup. David has dropped. 40 seconds in, Danielle is the final exemption challenge winner. Let's get everybody's
Great
cameras
job,
back
Danielle.
on.
Oh my goodness!
Great job.
Good job, Danielle.
Let's go!
Congratulations, Danielle. You have won the final exemption challenge, which means you are exempt from the vote tonight.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
David, Mariana, Mike, we will be voting one of you to the jury tonight. I will give you 30 minutes back at camp, and then I will meet you at our final crossroads.
And with that, our final 4 challenge is in the books. We have our final exemption winner. Danielle comes out on top, beating out Mariana, who we lose at the Ice Cups and Spoons challenge. Mike, we lose at Trivia. And David, his book falls within 40 seconds of the challenge starting. Danielle's going to have a lot of power going into strategy time now. Do either of you, starting with Jess, I suppose, have any comments on conversations funneling through Danielle here, rather?
It'll be interesting. I know she claims to have a final 3 with David and Mariana, but she's had her hands in so many pots that I don't know if she'll actually stick to her word or not. But I think she's going to be playing the queen and having a lot of conversations tonight.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Jess. Seeing from how Danielle has played and won exemption in the past, and from those times, she was kind of on like a little mini power trip where she felt like she could talk a lot more and just voice her opinion on what she wanted to do, try to hear everybody out. So I feel like with this win, she's definitely going to hold a lot of power.
For sure, and I think it's Mike's uphill battle to climb. I think he's going to have to do a lot of pitching here and see how he can make it work. But you know what? At Final Four, anything can happen. I think we've had a lot of quiet crossroads, to say the least, this season, but this is the last one before the final ascent, so you're really going to have to let everything air out.
Mike needs to fight for his life right now. I think the spotlight's going to be on him, and I think he'll do whatever it takes. He's got one shot.
Exactly. So without further ado, let's send it over to strategy time and we'll check in post crossroads.
I couldn't have felt more ecstatic. I'm in the finals of Expedition Online. That's been the goal since the first time I played the game. Unfortunately going out in a really wrong vote out, in my opinion. And here I am now in my second round of playing the game, in the final 3, about to win the game.
Mike has like a really good shot at winning. Like,
Yeah,
I
no,
think
hey,
Mike has more friends Mike definitely has more friends in the jury, I think, than anyone else. Like, he's just
Right.
gotta go.
yeah, no,
So,
I'm down. Like you, me, and Danielle. Like this should be a very easy vote. Like
it should be. It should be.
Yeah.
So
it's funny 'cause when I was
yeah.
talking to him, like just me and him, he's like, "Oh yeah, Danielle." He was just kind of mad about the fact that like I don't know that you didn't vote for Danielle or something. I'm like, yeah, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he tried to throw me under the bus, but like he brought up Danielle. It was not me. I was having a conversation with him, and I was like,
Yeah.
"So who do you think is the biggest threat to win
Yeah.
out of?"
Right.
And he was like, "I think Danielle." Like he brought up Danielle, and then he tried to throw me under the bus because I agreed with him. I was
Right.
like, I was having a fake conversation. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like,
I have like the least connection with Mike, so like this vote is so easy for me. Like
yeah, I know you've been kind of gunning for Mike for a long time, so this is just the culmination. I
Yeah,
can't believe
no.
we did it though. Like, how crazy is it that we're about to have a day 0 alliance go to
And
the
I'm
final
so
3?
for it because honestly, I
How
thought that
crazy is that?
we were like our alliance, like I mean, like Justin went out the first day, Philip eventually went out. So like I'm like, okay, like I hope that me, David, and Danielle can still get together because like they had all the numbers, like the Mike, the Bambi, Olivia, they had Carl, Haley, they all had those numbers. Like they were all in that chat in the beginning.
So for Danielle to win, I think it put me in a really bad spot because David has to vote off Mariana, who he thinks he can beat in the end, or me, who he potentially struggles against. So I had a feeling that David was going to be hard to persuade. So Danielle has to be the one that I talk to. So I go talk to Danielle. So what are you thinking?
Like before, when David pulled me inside, he was telling me that he wouldn't vote me out if he won, and like basically, I said I wouldn't vote him out. Kinda, I think I said. I don't know if I for sure. I know this sounds bad, but I don't know if I for sure said that or not. But I'm really gonna have to think about this, and I'm gonna listen to all the pitches. And I mean, either it'll be a tie vote or a majority vote. It'll be 3-1 or a 2-2. So I guess that just depends on where people want to vote. Who do you want to vote out?
I mean, like, I've been kind of thinking it through, right? Like, David, you and I are probably the best competition for each other. Like, so going to the final 3 with Janet would be super awesome. So I was kind of thinking that through. I was also thinking,
I'll tell you right now, I'm not voting out Mariana.
Okay, that's fine. So it's either David or me.
Yeah, unfortunate. It's just Mariana now is the only person here that hasn't lied to me. So I'm just going to go off of that, and because she didn't lie to me, I'm going to just give that trust to her.
When we went into it, I told them both, we'll see where my vote goes, and I said I wasn't voting out Mariana. Neither of them really clued into why, other than I think they think that I think she is the worst game, when that's not my reason for keeping Mariana at all. It's because she's my girl, and I've known her before this game, and making it to the end with her was a huge goal of mine.
And I have weighed the pros and cons of both of you. The thing that sucks is that last round you voted me, because otherwise you would be locked in that I wouldn't be voting you out right now.
My only explanation of that is that David was the one that was pushing it. And so I know.
I didn't tell you something.
Okay.
I told David I had the compass before the vote. So I believe that David would have probably voted with you and Bambi if I didn't tell him I had a compass. And I just think that that's the only reason why he potentially voted with us, is because he knew I told him that I had a compass. And I kind of wish I didn't tell him, so then I could really know where the loyalty was standing there. I still have that question mark, would he have done it? And I'm really going to weigh in the factor of who's better for the game moving forward.
And part of my pitch against David would be that you and I have burned more people than he has. So like, he's been kind of on the opposite side of a lot of votes. And so I think people are going to look at it as you and I have burned them, like Carl and Josh and Olivia. They're all going to be like David fans if the 3 of us, right? So like, that's my pitch against David. The game is still up in the air, that any one of the 3 of them could win this game, and a decision here could ultimately be the game-winning decision. That if you vote me out, you potentially lose the game.
So we're good, right?
I wasn't planning to be put in this position. I was planning on making sure I was pitching this to you.
Yeah.
So it's a little like harder when you're in this position and you've been working like I've been working with you and Mike both since the beginning.
I know. No, I've been working with Mike from the beginning too. Like, we were in that 5-person alliance.
I had to do one last job after Danielle won, of convincing her to do something against her best interests. I had to convince her that Mike played the better game than me, and that the jury was going to be too bitter. In a way, like the fact that everyone expects Katie to just rail me tomorrow almost might be a bit of a blessing, just because people might underestimate me. They might think I'm going to have too bitter of a jury for me to overcome.
But I mean, when you break down the numbers, like, Mike has way more friends on the jury than me. Like, I really think, because he was close with Josh, he was close with Olivia, he was close with Bambi. These are all people he's closer with than I am.
Yeah, he said that he feels like we burned, and I'll be honest with you, David. If I was going to take Mike to the final 3, like, this is in the route of me wanting to win the game. If you get voted out right now, I'm not saying you are, but because I'm really thinking this through, I would hope you would vote for me to win. But that's one reason why I want to take you out right now. But I also think that Mike, I haven't carried him through the game, don't get me wrong, but there was a lot of things you didn't know about that I was including Mike in many times, that I feel like with you it was different. Me and you were together with Mariana. We were also together in the 5 Alliance, but a lot of that stuff that I did was with Mike on the outsides, and all the girls, I was constantly like, miking us, like with Olivia, with Bambi, with multiple people. And the one thing that's like you getting Katie to give you that compass was huge. And
but I think that actually backfired because I'm going to get so much hate from.
And you know what? If people give you hate for that, I totally disapprove because I'm a player. Like, I love that.
I just want to say, like, I thought we had a final two. I didn't think we had to stress. Like, once Mike lost, I thought we were good. Like,
yeah, you know what? I agree. And I'm not like, I had a final two with Mariana as well. So that kind of sucks. I don't want to spoil that for the finale right now, but you'll understand later.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, like, you were the only person I made a final two with. And honestly, if you violate that, I'm going to be pretty bitter about it. I'm not going to lie.
I had a one-on-one with Danielle, and I could tell she was really considering voting me out. She was really weighing, trying to see who was more beatable, me or Mike, and really weighing her options. And she was playing a lot more tactically than I realized because I thought it was going to be pretty chill. But I was like, oh, Danielle, you have a knife at my back and you're deciding whether to plunge it in. Danielle. Woo-hee! Because Danielle had played pretty straightforward with me, but I knew she'd lied to me a couple times, but I thought we were good.
Talk to me, buddy.
Just stressed, man.
I know why.
Danielle's the only person I made a final two agreement with. She really is. And she's making it sound like there's a possibility that she's going to turn on me. So,
I'm not. I don't know if I believe that, David.
Why?
I think I'm done. Like, you guys played me.
I mean, it's either me. It's either me or you. But
I mean, that's only if the two of us don't vote for Mariana.
You would do that?
Well, what other choice do I have?
That's actually a really good point. Well, you could vote for me.
But that's the thing.
So,
like, Mariana wins this game if the three of you go to the end. She's got Olivia. She's got Philip. She's got Bambi. She's got 3 votes locked right there.
Okay. So me and you can make a promise to each other. If we both vote Mariana, then regardless of who Mariana and Danielle vote for, we can at least make sure that there's a tiebreaker challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Honestly, I'll do it.
I mean, like, that's our only option. That's our only way of not turning on each other.
That's a really good point. Okay. I'll do it. I will absolutely do it because Danielle's playing really shifty. She's not telling me for sure one way or the other. And this is the only way we can secure that whoever she turns on, because she might be lying to us and trying to blindside us so that we don't make this move. So we can't even trust.
I'll be honest with you. She wanted to talk to Mariana before she talked to you again. You just jumped the gun. I couldn't tell her fast enough.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if she's telling either of us the truth, honestly.
No, that's true.
Because she did say that she's not voting for Mariana. So that only forces me to vote for you.
Right. All right. I love the way you're thinking, and let's do it. Like, let's vote Mariana.
He gives me some hope Like he kind of, tells me what I want to hear. Do you really think, we could do that? Would you do that with me? And I was like, yes, absolutely. That way we don't give Danielle the power. That way the power is in our hands. We have to compete against Mariana to stay in this game, no matter which one of us it is.
Obviously, like David, Danielle, and I, from the beginning, we knew that us three should stick together. Like this should be a very easy, crossroads to get rid of Mike. But then David and Danielle, they just started having paranoia with each other. I'm like, no, Danielle, no, we're good. David's good with us.
He's gonna try to probably flip David to push a tie vote, I'm thinking, but he's pissed.
Why is Mike? I literally just told David that he shouldn't worry about it. Like you, me, and him should vote for Mike.
No, but I think that Mike doesn't want you in the finals because he doesn't think you deserve to be there or whatever. He thinks David's going to win at the end of the game. Blah blah blah.
Why is Mike so annoying then? We have to get rid of him then.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. Maybe he convinced David to tie vote, and if he does, you better win.
Welcome into our final 4 crossroads. Tonight we are learning who will be the final member of the jury and which 3 explorers will get to defend their case at the final ascent. Today we had a 3-part challenge. Mariana was eliminated in the first round. Mike was eliminated in the second round. And Danielle outlasted David in the final round to win final exemption. Danielle, you were pretty excited to win. It looks like that's tempered now, huh?
No, I'm still stoked. I mean, you win final exemption. I mean, how can you not be ecstatic?
So you're still excited, so the pending vote didn't sober you up.
I mean, I was pretty sure I knew where I was going with the vote to start out with, but I mean, as the winner of the final exemption, which I wasn't expecting, to be honest, definitely a point in the game. I didn't expect to win this final exemption. I mean, obviously I knew it was coming in, giving it my all. I wanted to win, but I feel like David and Mike and Mariana for that matter, were all very good competitors. So I didn't see myself having a super high chance of winning over anybody else. I feel like fate just worked out, and I nailed it, and I made it, and I'm so stoked. But I think as the exemption person, you really have to consider everything. You have to consider relationships. You have to consider game. There's so much to think about going into the next part of the ending of the game that you have to consider. And I mean, it's a lot to think about.
I appreciate you answering my next 3 questions. David, you were so close at the end. You made it to the last round. Can you explain what it feels like to be that close but still vulnerable tonight?
Oh, it sucks. Yeah, I really thought I had a decent shot at it. Balance isn't my strength, so I knew that might be tough.
Mike, we get to this point in the game. Is there any value to still holding cards close to your chest at crossroads or even during the discussions? Or are we about to have the most honest crossroads we've had all year?
I might make it that way, sure. Yeah, I mean,
please do.
So I've been told I'm the one going. So that's kind of where we're sitting right now. I am frustrated. I have built relationships with all 3 of these people, and I have given my word to all 3 of them at different points in this game, and have only gone back on it once. And unfortunately, that's the person who is holding the power to send me home tonight.
So
that's Danielle, by the way.
Okay, well, I did read between that line. If you
wanted honesty, you wanted honesty.
I do. I do. I'm excited for it. I've been waiting all year for it. So, did you hear it from all 3 people in no uncertain terms? No.
Nope.
Okay.
Just from Danielle.
Okay.
So it's just interesting because she's the one then dictating this entire moment.
Right.
No, it was more of a discussion between every person. It's not me just dictating it.
From my perspective, it is Danielle dictating it.
No.
So, Mariana, when did the final four discussions begin? Did they start as soon as the challenge was over, or did they start before the challenge started? Did it start last game day, after Crossroads? How early was this discussion?
I mean, I guess I would say technically before the challenge started today. I mean, a few of us broke out and spoke to each other, but I'm sure all of us have always wanted certain people that we wanted to go in the end with. So I'm sure there's a idea that of who we want to go to. Like,
Say it. Just say it, Mariana.
Say what?
Say your final three. You've had it since day 0. Just say it. Don't sugarcoat it.
I mean, David
Say it.
Mel,
Say
and I
it out loud.
we all spoke together on day 0.
Correct.
So, I mean, technically, yeah, we do have honestly, I'm going to be honest. I've always been honest. Yeah, David, Danielle, and I have had a day 0 alliance. Like, sorry, Danielle and David for breaking it to Mike, but might as well just continue with the honesty.
Danielle already told me.
I already told him. So it's all
right.
good.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's why I'm saying it's not a dictation. If Mariana or David would have won the challenge, I would have expected to go this way no matter what. So the only way it would have went different, Mike, is if you won Exemption, most likely.
Mm-hmm. Something that I want to add, too, is Danielle had a lot of day 0 final 3 agreements. Correct, Danielle?
I mean, I had a few, but it doesn't really matter, does it?
But it does matter because it was me, Bambi, and Olivia. But like you have played all sorts of games with all sorts of people.
Yeah, I played a damn good game is what I played, son.
So what I'm saying to David is you need to bring somebody into the final 3 that can help you beat Danielle, because I'm not going to win. The only way you win is to split votes between Danielle and me. That's the only way you win.
Wait, Danielle, she can't be voted.
He means Mariana.
I vote for you. Which is what I've been trying to do since the negative rendezvous.
Honestly, like, I don't appreciate you downplaying my game. Like, I played a really good mate.
I'm not downplaying your game, Mariana. I'm just saying
that...
Like,
you don't even know what I want to say yet. Like, if I make it to final 3, I do have something planned of what I can say. Like, I understand I didn't do good on the other physical competitions the last 5 rounds, but I still
Neither did I.
Like, the fact that you think that you have a better chance to beat Danielle over me is like, I don't know, like, I just feel kind of disrespected right now.
So I think David has a better chance to beat Danielle without you there.
Why? That doesn't even make sense.
Because Mariana gets votes. David doesn't get votes. It's going to be between you and Mariana.
And what? You don't get votes? You were tight with everybody that you...
I have 2 Cali people.
I'm not there. You're voting me out.
Oh my gosh. Well, then I guess David has your vote if that's how you're going about it. But if you make that move, David, and switch, and Mike stays, Mike just made the move of getting Mariana out, which he's been trying to do for 5 rounds. So I guess that's up to you of what route you want to go, but you know where we stand and where we've stood since day 0.
Is this a compelling?
Not where she stood with me from day 0. That was a different alliance, apparently.
Mike, I didn't. No, way different. That everything changed like 4 rounds ago with you and me in the game. Like, it hasn't been the same.
I don't see how that's true because you literally came to me with a final 2.
When?
The Olivia vote.
I said, let's have a final 2 on the Olivia vote?
You told me I'm your number 1, that we are a final 2.
I don't remember.
And then you said it again after I voted Olivia out.
I wouldn't say that we weren't potentially said final 2, but I don't actually remember that conversation.
I'm sure you don't.
And I'm not lying. Like, I would be straight up. I'm not a liar. Like, I actually don't remember. Like, mom's, like, I've told people,
I wouldn't
like,
say that you're not a liar because you've lied to a lot of people in this game, but that's fine.
I haven't lied necessarily, but I have definitely not told the truth.
So I'm not going to ask Mariana if you like Mike's pitch about voting you out, but David is
guys.
Yeah. Is this a good pitch that Mike's making?
No, I think it's a terrible pitch.
I know what you think, actually.
Like, why would he want like to split it? Like, that's so dumb. Like, David, you have to.
The only way I stay in the game. Why would that be dumb?
Everyone wanted to work with you the entire game, Mike. You literally played the game in all angles just like I did. Me and you, everything I was a part of, you were a part of. Like, you were in everything. So I get it. You're fighting for your game right now.
Right. But you're proving my point, Danielle. David, that's exactly what my point is that Danielle and I will split votes that will all go to Danielle if you vote me out.
Why wouldn't they go to Mariana too? Because Mariana was working with us in every one of those alliances also.
I don't disagree with that.
So I mean, what you're saying doesn't even make sense because Mariana was a part of every single one of those also. You know, that's the funny thing.
Because the votes that David will get if he takes me to the 3 will go to Mariana. Philip will vote for Mariana. Philip will not vote for me or you.
Bambi's gonna vote for you hands down.
I didn't say Bambi wouldn't vote for me. I'm just saying.
That's voting for you all day. Trust me, I've done the math. You get a lot of votes. That's why you're going.
So David, I want you to weigh in on this because he's appealing to you. So I'd just like you to at least respond to this.
I have heard everyone's arguments, and yeah, I mean that's all I could say. You know, I'm gonna do what I think makes the best sense for my game, and that's that. And honestly, like, you know, all these talks about who's getting whose votes, like the jury, I think most of the jury probably hasn't made up their minds yet. So like talking about who's a lock, who's a lock, I think most of the juries are going to be listening to the final arguments. And the thing is, and I've learned, you know, from talking with Danielle and from talking with Mariana, there are bombshells that each one of us have that have not been shared. I think that's absolutely true in terms of arguments that we have as to why we win. I think I have a pretty damn good shot regardless of who I'm going up against, honestly. But right now it's about setting the table to, you know, have the best odds, I guess.
Danielle, part of what you just said is that Bambi wasn't part of your final 3 because she ended up on Kelly, but so did Mariana. So I'm just confused, like where, like who, like why did those two, like why was it Mariana over Bambi?
You and Mariana, or you and Bambi got like tight like this. You and Bambi.
Yeah, but we were with you.
No, you and Bambi were not. I feel like the whole
you guys
time.
are really close.
We would have voted Mariana if David had not pushed.
I heard many
your
things.
No, I never came after you, Danielle.
David says he didn't push my name though. So I mean,
did.
I don't know
Right? You can believe him all you want, but it's not true, and I know that's not true. So if you're putting me on the jury, think that through as well, because it's not true.
David, did you push my name? Why did you vote? Where did you vote? Why?
I voted for Bambi. I was the one that came up with Bambi as the name. Like I was the one that had exemption. I was the one that said Bambi. I had like all of us have had in the course of this game. I had a fake conversation with Mike, and we had a conversation as to who we were going to vote for. And I said things to him like, "Who do you think has the best chance to win? Who do you think that?" Like I gave him prompts, and we discussed both names. And it didn't matter which name was picked because...
Well, Bambi was also after Mariana multiple times and wasn't on the same side as what we wanted. You know, there was multiple reasons why we wanted Bambi out of the game. You know,
right. But you guys came to me and that's who I wanted. I was the one that threw Bambi's name out. I was. Because I think
you guys are pitching loyalty in very weird ways.
Bambi.
No. I mean, obviously, all of us had side deals, and all of us had alliances outside of this alliance. You know,
yeah.
You know, and I think all of us would be lying to say like we knew for sure that this was the 3 that was going to get there, because one of us could have been a casualty, and we'd need to pivot. Like you don't know how it's going to go, but as it turned out, like this is the 3 that ended up being a 3. You know. So there is some luck in there. There is some loyalty in there. There is a lot of things in there, you know.
Mariana, you feel good with the vote right now?
Yeah, I know what I want to do. Unfortunately.
Anybody else have anything they want to add? All right. If nobody has anything else they'd like to add, let's go vote.
Day 0 Alliance, guys. Come on, it should be a simple vote.
No, come here.
That's all I'm gonna say.
David, where is your vote on me?
Why don't you trust me?
Because what Mike just said.
Why would it matter where my vote is?
Well, because, like, are you with us or are you not?
I have had I'm very confused right now. Like, we've had an agreement. Why are we keep on going back on this?
Okay, let's vote.
Danielle has individual exemption tonight. Danielle, would you like to give it up?
Definitely not.
Okay, so Danielle is keeping individual exemption. You may not vote for Danielle. Let's go vote. Okay, we have all of the votes. I have 4 votes. Our first vote is for Mike. Our second vote is for Mike. Our third vote for Mariana. 2 Mike, 1 Mariana, 1 vote left. Final vote and final member of the jury is Mike. Mike, I'm sorry your expedition has come to an end. Do you have any final words for your party?
So many, but we don't have time for them. I just want to say, Mariana, I only cast the vote simply to finally be able to cast a vote against you. Honestly, all 3 of you are amazing people. I'm so glad I got to meet each and every one of you.
Yeah, awesome game.
I apologize for the fireworks at the end. Like, it was my only shot. So, great game, guys. Honestly, be honest in that end. Like, be honest. Tell us your game. All 3 of you played very different games. So let us know what you did. Okay. Good luck, guys.
All right, thank you, Mike. Mike, why don't you stick around here? We'll have a chat for our final 3. Go ahead and jump back to camp.
I hope I am crowned the next winner of Expedition Online. It's been a badass journey to get here, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Hello. I'm sitting here with our final 3. We're going to pay tribute to the rest of the explorers whose game ended so that their journey could continue. We'll go through the cast one by one and share our thoughts. We will start off with Troy. Troy is a great guy. Unfortunately, he had to leave the game due to a family emergency. I absolutely respect the family first, and we definitely send our support to Troy and his family, and hope to see him again in the future playing one of these games.
I worked with him on Team Cali only for 2 days until he had to unfortunately go. But yeah, the plan was to move with him instead of when we voted out Jess, and we were excited to work with Troy. But yeah, great guy. I'm sure we would have been great allies, but just unfortunately didn't work out.
After we lost Troy, we lost Anthony. Anthony is a ball of energy in a ball of energy.
He was so energetic and he was so eager to play the game. And I think his over-eagerness is kind of what got the best of him because he was playing really hard, really fast. But he was such a great kid. He really is.
Yeah, I absolutely love Anthony. He was an absolute light. I really wanted to work with him. If Team Janet wouldn't have lost and there was more time, I don't know if things would have went a different route just because he was playing the game so hard. If he wasn't going so hard and, all over the place, jump, I think it could have been a different outcome for Anthony. He went against Carl right away from the get-go, and I think Carl was such a loved player as well from the beginning. Anthony probably wasn't expecting that. So if he would have went against someone else, he might have had better luck, but Carl wasn't really a good option to be going again.
All right, well, let's go to our Swap Screwed Hall of Fame lineup now, and we'll start off with Bill.
Honestly, that was maybe the most stressful vote of the season. It was so chaotic, and the fear of the Destiny tokens was real. And I only met him the one day that we got swapped, and it really was just like the fact he had a lot of trouble with the jigsaw puzzle, and we just needed to focus on winning challenges because the tribes were so small.
I mean, I saw him as like a solid number in my game. I mean, he kept giving us so many ideas or clues like, oh, okay, they have these supplies. Oh, it's probably going to be some balancing or relay. Like, he gave us so much, he provided so much like knowledge to us. Yeah, he was just a good resource to have in the game.
I love how he went
mad.
out too, because he was disappointed to go, but he was like, at least I went out on a really epic crossroads.
Yeah,
and
good.
that's a fun attitude to have, and I appreciate that.
Our next explorer, Kupini. Somebody got sent to the serrated peak, and somebody didn't show up. And
yeah,
so,
Bambi.
yeah. Well, I wasn't naming names yet, but yeah, it was Bambi. So I think he was in the numbers 3-2, and then because of these other circumstances in the game, he found himself on a 2-1 vote. It was crazy.
Yeah, on day 0, Kupini was on my radar right away. Being able to tell he was a super fan of Survivor. I made sure to tell the Janet players I thought that he was a threat, and many of them agreed.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Kupini got kind of screwed by that whole swap, but then also me, him, and Bambi had the numbers to get rid of Danielle or Olivia at that point, right? But then, yeah, I think his game got screwed right when I went to Serrated Peak, and then Bambi, she just forgot she had some sort of dinner or something, I forgot. But yeah, I mean, I saw him as an ultimate target eventually down the road, but obviously in the beginning of the game, any numbers that you can hold on to, you want to hold on to.
All right, let's go back to a more traditional swap screw. Bridget. This is more traditional. After Bill's departure, it didn't seem like she had a chance.
Bridget scared the hell out of me. Like, she was hyper intelligent, and she had such a good social game and was so good at trying to convince people of her point of view. And in the end, I knew that, especially because we'd gotten rid of Bill, she had no real reason to trust us. And as much as I would have loved to keep winning challenges and find a way to maybe have our games work together, when we lost again, it was a pretty easy decision.
Team Kelly, myself, Bridget, Kupini, and Bambi, we actually made a little alliance within the alliance. Us four, we agree oh yeah, us four, if we can get far, that'd be amazing. But unfortunately, back from Serrated Peak, I was so devastated to see her go. I was just devastated to see both Kupini and Bridget gone, because at that point, I'm okay, I'm screwed at this point. I literally have to he's gone.
After Alliance.
You know? Yeah.
All right. Our next explorer, he made way for Jess, is Neil.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to him on day 0, and I got really good vibes from him. I knew he grew up in Zimbabwe and seemed to have just such a fascinating life. And yeah, he was someone I could really see getting along with, but he was one of the people that Janet told us ahead of time to watch out for. Janet's clearly thought he was one to watch.
Neil was super cool. We didn't get a chance to link up until we got into the same party. And that's where Neil made his mistake. He decided to try to target me. Now, if Neil would have come to me and tried to target someone else with, say, me and Mariana and Carl together, and Josh probably would have went with us, we would have potentially took somebody else out if that was the route to go.
Got back into the game. Another Kelly got back into the game. Jess, the mayor of the secluded lake. She did spend the most time at the secluded lake.
It should be really mentioned that Jess was the 4th member of our Day 0 alliance that
she was.
That never really formed for her.
I forgot that she was there. I only ever had the 3 of us in our mind.
Yeah.
So when you mentioned that the other day, I still don't remember her even being there.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, there was 4 people in the room, and Jess was one of them. Honestly, when me and you had our first chat, I was like, does Danielle even remember this Day 0 alliance? And sure enough, you did.
I had the truest intent to work with Jess, but everyone on my tribe was coming after her because of the fact that she potentially was going to, ruin our chances of winning scavenger hunt. So from a risk standpoint, we had to get rid of her. But at the same time, Carl on day 1 was mentioning, or day 0, there's going to be a Cleveland alliance, between David, Jess. I'm like, if I give it a Jess, that'll show there is no Cleveland Alliance.
So that's our pre-jury. And now we're moving into the rendezvous and our first member of the jury, the mayor of Ponderosa, Philip. And I will say, I thought Philip was a real threat in the game because he was so good with the words that he chose.
Philip had clearly just such a great physical, social, and strategic game. And I really think his only misstep was making it so obvious that he had all of those skills in spades. And he had a target that, was going to be there until he was gone. But man, did he tell me some of the smoothest lies I've ever heard. He got me to believe some really crazy stuff. He told me that all the half compasses, when you found someone else that had another half compass, all you had to do was like put them together in front of a mod and they each became their own separate compasses. And I was like, what? Procreating compasses? I was like, man, that's crazy. There's compasses everywhere.
Philip was definitely someone that was hard for me to see go. I mean, awesome conversations with him since day zero. I mean, as everyone knows, he literally glamorized me the entire game. Like, oh, Mariana, we gotta work with Mariana, is what I heard. So, like, he was a great asset in the beginning, like, in terms of winning the comps that we need to avoid, crossroads. But he was just too strong, too fast, and that was the detriment of his game.
All right, well, after Philip, we lost Katie. And I will say Katie is a real gem. She didn't know what she signed up for. She's not familiar with the format of the game, but she gave it 110%.
She's like one of a kind, the biggest personality that you'll ever meet. And I love her so much. And honestly, like, man, it was really the hardest vote to see go. And part of it was because I knew she was playing so personally. What's that?
I don't know if she'll be reciprocating that love anymore.
No, I know. No, she's gonna let me have it tonight, and I get that. But I really did want to play this game deep with her, and I really meant it when I said it that I would give her the compass back. It may have been a tactical reason as well as it was personal, but I absolutely would have done it.
Yeah, Katie. Oh my gosh. Referencing to one of my first confessionals, that Icelandic chick. You ooze everything I love. Your voice, your life, your martinis. I love listening and talking to you. Your stories, our life.
So after we lost Katie, we lost Haley. And I would say out of all of the votes, this one was the biggest blindside to me.
Haley was an incredibly close ally of mine. She was definitely my biggest strategic partner. Like, whenever we got in the same room, we always were able to get on the same page quickly. And the moves that made sense to me made sense to her. So she was so great to work with. And it like having Katie and her go back to back really just made me feel to go to the bottom of the standings of people.
After Haley went out, the cast member with the greatest headshot. This is amazing, Carl.
Between Carl and Katie, we had so much personality on the Janets. It was nonstop. But you could always count on Carl to have a beer and to cheers you and to send good morning messages to the tribe chat every time. He had the most energy, and I don't think anyone wanted to win more than Carl. He just he was so driven and he wanted this so bad.
But when I got to meet him though, when we were ultimately on the same party, I had so much love for him. Like, Carl, I loved you so much. Like, your energy just made me change my first impression of you.
Carl, my king! Oh my gosh, I absolutely love you. I knew on day zero me and you would be working together no matter what.
Olivia is our next explorer.
Never seen the amazing relationship forming between me and Olivia that happened. We ended up together all through the game, and our bond just kept on growing. I knew you'd be a threat to win at the end, but I loved you in this game, and the chat and strategy play were some of the best that I had with anyone in this game. You are a queen.
Olivia's the best, and her winning that one challenge in like 45 seconds that was supposed to be this badass endurance challenge. I mean, that's one of the most legendary challenge performances of all time.
Next out was Joshua. And I have to say, I was starting to think that Joshua was going to be somebody that everybody wanted to be sitting next to at the end, because he started leaning into the villain once we got to the rendezvous.
And hit up Joshua's Etsy. This guy is creative and he's got skills. I plan on making a purchase from you soon, man. You played one hell of a game and nothing but respect.
Nothing but love for Josh. I'm gonna buy some of his Survivor stuff. He was a strong player if he made it to the end. But yeah, great dude.
Bambi was a very calculated, smart player. She was really interested in not answering any questions at Crossroads.
Yeah, I mean, Bambi was the full package. She certainly had the social strategic. She was probably the best at challenges. She did really well at challenges all across the board.
But Bambi, I saw her as a girl that I would work with until the end of the game, to be honest. Yeah, when it was just a party, on a party level, like Bambi and I had great relationships. However, once we got to Rendezvous, I felt like her relationships with like Mike and David just got stronger. I'm like, okay, like Bambi and I are the only two Kelly explorers left, but I felt like I was truly the only Kelly explorer, because I just felt like so abandoned by Bambi at times.
She assimilated so well. She really fit in, and
I was getting annoyed. I was like, "Can you give me something?" She was like always questioning me.
Our final member of the jury, Mike. Mike was definitely a real threat in the game, and he fought to the last breath. And honestly, that's how you play the game.
Mike was, Mike easily game. He was that type of player. He played dominantly, strategically, and socially. He was a great player, a great ally. I know for both me and Danielle, he was a really close ally to both of us.
I felt like Mike and I were playing like this never-ending like rat chase trap game where like he always was targeting me, but he actually never voted for me besides that the final vote. Yeah, I tried to work with him, but like Mike, you just kept telling everyone that I told you things. Like, so like pretty much I would tell Mike something, then he would like go tell Carl right away or Danielle or whoever. So I tried my best to work with Mike. I'm glad that we ended up getting far. I mean, obviously we kept targeting each other, which is an easy name to say, but yeah, no, nothing but love for him also.
Mike, we kicked it off together in high gear. We were officially working together once we were on Janet. Our game talk and strategy was honestly so fun and so deep. We were running this game together, truly, the two of us.
All right, well done. We're about to go into the final ascent where you can defend your game, but before we do, we wanted you to be thinking about all of the players that you played with, the players that didn't have the opportunity to get to the end of the game. And so thank you very much for showing tribute to all of those players.
Well, with that, we wrap our final Crossroads of the season before the final ascent. Mike is our final jury member. We can say farewell to Mike. He didn't go down without a fight. As you said, Chantel, he put up a fight. Any last words on Mike's game before we talk about the final three?
He had a great pitch to David about voting Mariana and tying it and going to a challenge. And I really, really hoped that was going to happen because it would be really fun to watch. But obviously, Mike's he's tougher competition for the finale. So I see why he wanted to send him home.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Jessica. Honestly, it was really, really sad to see him go. I was rooting for him. Yeah, but he's definitely competition to have in those final three seats. So it's going to be interesting how these actual final three are going to fight to the finish and talk to the jury.
Yeah, the game is officially moving forward. Tomorrow night, we're going to have the jury now confronting these final three. And They have a lot of questions to answer, frankly. David had the Katie of the whole situation, you know, did he steal the idol or the compass, I'm sorry, did he just use it for his own use? Danielle has been, as Mike showed tonight, been caught in more than one lie, so she's going to have a lot of questions to answer. I think Mariana is going to have some questions to answer on, you know, what moves did she make? How did she get herself to the end here? The final three is going to be really up for grabs. I truly don't have a winner pick. I think right now I would lean David, but I could be totally wrong. He could be a 0-vote finalist. Starting with you, Chantel, who do you think has the best shot going in right now anyway?
Honestly, I feel like they all have an equal shot to win. All three of them have different stories. They played totally different games. It's going to be interesting what their speech is going to be, what their answers to the jury's questions are going to be. Right now, just based on overall game, I would say the top person in the running would be David, but at the end of the day, it's up to the jury.
Yeah, I would agree with Chantel. I think David has played the best game so far. He obviously made the big move, taking the compass back in the beginning, but he also became on the bottom of the entire tribe, and he's still here. He's been a pivotal swing in different scenarios too, but he has the uphill battle of taking the compass from Katie, so it's a move that some people might like, some people might not like, so a little double-edged sword.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, and we have such an eclectic group of jurors who have all been backstabbed, have worked with these final three, everything in between. So, I mean, tomorrow night's just going to be fun. I think we can all say that it's going to be a super fun night. We have 3 people left, 2 Janet, 1 Kelly, and ultimately one person who's going to come out of this as our Season 3 champion. So for Day 14, this has been Jess and Chantel joining me, Sam Donovan, for commentary. Thank you for joining us and watching Expedition Online. Peace.
I changed my mind now. I don't even want David in the game anymore. Now I freaking screwed up, and Mariana is not on the same page right now. We should be voting out David. Damn it. Even if I change my vote and if they decide to both vote out Mariana, then she's out, and that screws up everything. So it's either a tie vote or fucking Mike. Holy bloody hell. This sucks. I really screwed up my vote. Ugh! I don't know what I want anymore. I see both angles here. This is so frustrating. I vote Mike.
This is a lot more stressful than I thought it would be. I thought if Mike lost, we'd be fine. If Danielle backstabbed me at this point, that would hurt so bad. But we're going with Mike. I think this is my shot to win.
So unfortunately, I will have to vote Mike and hope that Danielle and David voted with me, and it's just funny that I'm finally voting for you, Mike. I mean, I voted for you the other round, but sorry, Mike, you were awesome, but I just have to keep the Day Zero alliance intact.
I don't think this vote matters, which is frustrating, but I am going to stick to my word. I'm going to finally cast a vote for Mariana, which I've been trying to do since the beginning of Rendezvous. But really, I'm voting for her specifically to let David know that I stuck to my word with him from the moment we talked on Day 1, and I never went against my word with him. He was the person, besides Bambi, that I wanted to sit next to at the end, and I stuck to my word. So when I get to come back at him at jury, that's going to be a fun conversation. So good luck, Mariana.
Jess, any last words on Bambi's game before we jump into the final 4?
Yeah, she played a great game. She just, the cards. Fuck, I don't even remember what happened to Bambi last time.
What happened?
That's Chantel. I was prepared for everyone else except her.